Hi everyone, welcome. This video is an orientation to the online Common application. I will be generally talking about the different sections and tabs that students will need to complete and the counselor's role in the Common application. The first step of the 5 steps to a study is to research your options. The second step is to finance your studies. The third step is to complete your application. The fourth step is to apply for your student visa. And the fifth and final step is to prepare for your departure. As part of the third step, students need to understand and prepare for the general application requirements for U.S. colleges and universities, and completing their Common App account is part of it. The website is commonapp.org. The Common App is a place for students to learn about the college admissions process, understand how to plan and apply to college, and discover what all different universities and colleges have to offer. With the Common App, the students need to use one system to apply to multiple colleges and universities. There are two main parts they need to complete: a set of common questions and each college's own specific questions. There are over 900 colleges and universities that use the Common App. There are exceptions, as some universities and colleges do not use the Common App and use other platforms, or they have the application on their website. Students would need to first create their account, so we click on Create an Account. And here there are 4 different options. The first one, first-year student, applicant who plans to begin college for the first time. The second option, transfer student, applicant who has completed some college and plans to apply to a new college. The third option, education professional, counselor, teacher, advisor, or other professional who works with applicants and wants to see the first-year applicant experience without being considered for admission by colleges. This choice is not for students who plan to apply and study at college. The fourth option, parent or other adult who wants to see the first-year applicant experience without being considered for admissions by colleges. This choice is not for students who plan to apply and study at college. High school seniors who wish to apply to universities and colleges in the U.S. and want to create their account on the Common App usually select the first option, first-year student. Here, the students need to complete the different tabs. First, they need to include an email address. We always recommend our students to have a professional email address, which means it should not include any nicknames, but it is preferred to include their first name and family name. They can select their password, but they must follow the instructions stated here. They can put their first name, their family name, add their phone number, date of birth, and address. For some countries, students will not see their specific address, so they have the option to select "I don't see my address" in this list. And then they can add it manually and add all of the different information. Of course, they need to answer these 2 questions. For this question, which best describes you? I am applying as a first-year student and plan to start college in 2021 or 2022, planning to start college in 2023, or planning to start college in 2024 or beyond. This means that students, not only seniors, but maybe juniors or sophomores, can also create their account on the Common application, and their information will be rolled over from one year to another. And here, lastly, they need to check on this box. You need to agree to the terms of use and privacy policy and click on the blue button, Create Account. After the student creates his or her account, they will see these 5 different tabs. First, we have the dashboard. Under the dashboard, the students will see the college name, the deadline they have selected, and their application status, of course, after they add their list of colleges. Under the second tab, My Colleges, the students can complete college-specific questions and supplements, invite and manage recommenders, and submit their application. Under the third tab, Common App, they can complete these different 7 sections. Under the 4th tab, College Search, they can search for different colleges and universities they want to apply to and add them to their Common Application account. And the 5th tab is the Financial Aid Resources, where they can learn more about the opportunities to apply for financial aid and scholarship opportunities. And here they provide different resources. Under the Common App tab, students need to answer a set of common questions. First, we have the Profile section. The student need to answer basic information about themselves, and they will notice that some of the information they provided when creating their account has already been added. Address section, they will also see the address they added when they created their account, but they can change it or update it if necessary. Contact details, they can also add their contact details, their preferred phone number, and an alternate phone number if they want to. The demographics section, they have a set of different questions. They are all optional except for the first one, as it is mandatory. The language, the student needs to report the number of languages they are proficient in. They can select the language and the language proficiency. Geography and nationality, also the student needs to report the birth country, region, territory, city of birth, number of years they have lived in the United States. If they did not live in the United States, they can select 0 as an answer. And the last one, they need to select their citizenship status. Common App Fee Waiver. The Common App Fee Waiver waive the application fee for any college they apply to through the Common App. Each college decides the fee that they will charge to process the student application. Not all colleges require applicants to pay a fee. The second section is the family section. The students need to share details about their household and family members, and they will answer detailed questions about their parents and siblings. Under the third section, the education, first they need to add their current or most recent secondary high school. If they do not see it on this list, they can select I do not see my school in this list. And then they can add the information about their high school. If the student attended more than one high school, they need to add the information under this section, other secondary high schools. They will be asked to add the name of the school, the period that they have attended this school, and also provide details about why they left each of the above secondary high schools. Colleges and universities. In this section, the students need to report any college courses that they have taken. Of course, they need to add the number of colleges and add each of their name, and then they will share information about the details, including when did they take this course. Grades. In this section, the student need to enter information about their graduating class and GPA reporting. We always ask high school counselors to help their students complete this section. Current or most recent year courses. Of course, they need to report the courses that they are currently taking in high school or they have recently took in high school. They will enter the course title, the level, and the course schedule system that the school is using, like the semester, trimester, quarter, and yearly. In the honors section, the student can list any academic achievements that they have received. They can list up to 5, and for each honor, they need to include when did they receive it, the grade level and the level of recognition. Community-based organizations usually provide support to college-bound students. So if any of your students are involved in one of these organizations, they can complete this section. Future plans. Students will be asked to share their career interests, and they will also be asked about the highest degree they intend to earn. If they don't know the answers for both of these questions, they can also choose undecided. The testing section, lets students self-report scores for any standardized test that they have taken or plan to take. For example, they can report their scores for the following standardized tests: ACT, SAT, SAT subject, AP, etc. As you can see the exams listed here. If they select yes, then they can select which exam they want to share more information about. Let's say TOEFL IBT, then they will have another section where they need to complete different information about the exam that they took or they plan to take. Of course, students need to remember that usually colleges and universities will ask them to submit the official scores through the testing agency. Each college can choose their own testing policy, and they can find information about each college testing policy on their official website. You will also see a question specific for international applicants. Students have the option to report any leaving examinations. This will depend on the student and what policies that they have in their country. If the student answers yes, then they need to provide more detailed information about their senior secondary leaving examinations. Under the activities section, students have the chance to tell colleges more about themselves and to talk about their activities that they do outside of their classroom. They can list up to 10 activities in this section, but that does not mean that they have to enter 10 activities. It's better, to think about the activities that are most meaningful to our students. First, they need to select the activity type. They can select the position, leadership description, the organization name. They can describe the activity, what they have accomplished and any recognition that they have received, participation grade levels, timing of participation, hours spent per week. If students don't know, the exact numbers, it is okay. They can give their best guess, and then they can, specify whether they intend to participate in a similar activity in college or not. Under the writing section, students can answer the personal essay questions. There are 7 different prompts, and students need to only choose one option. Of course, the essay should not be more than 650 words and not less than 250 words. The personal essay is required by some universities, but it is also not required by others. Additional information section. Here, the students have the option to answer this question about any impacts that they had because of COVID-19, and also they can provide any details of circumstances or qualifications not reflected in the application, and they can share it in this space. Courses and grades. In this section, it is required by some universities and colleges, and so the student will need to self-report their transcripts to colleges that ask for it. The students need to have a copy of their transcripts available so they can answer this section. Under the College Search tab, students can search for the colleges and universities that they want to apply to through the Common App. For example, we can search for Williams College, and we can add it to the list by clicking on this button, Add College. Another example is Bates College. We can also add it to the list. And one more we can do is UPenn, and we can also add it to the list. Students can see the list of colleges and universities they added to their list under My Colleges tab. First, we have Bates College. You can see the contact information, the links for the college website, virtual tour, college navigator, and the links for the different social media platforms that they have. They share information about the application deadlines, the application fees, standardized test policy, courses and grades, recommendations, and other information, including the writing supplement. Here, they mentioned that the Common App personal essay is required, but no other writing supplement questions are required from this university. You can also check out the questions section. Each college will have their own specific questions. They have 4 different tabs: general, academics, contacts, and family. And this will differ from one university to another. Let's see University of Pennsylvania. They also share their contact information, different links, application deadlines, fees, etc. And here, for example, they say that the common application personal essay is required, and they have 2 required questions under the writing supplement. Under the Recommenders and FERPA section, students can send invitations to counselors, teachers, recommenders, parents, or advisors, but they must complete the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act FERPA release authorization process before they do that. So what is the FERPA waiver? FERPA regulates the privacy of student education records, which could include their application to college when they enroll. FERPA also gives them the right to review confidential letters of recommendation provided as part of their application after they enroll. If they waive their right, this lets colleges know that they do not intend to read their recommendation letters, which helps reassure colleges that the letters are candid and truthful. So the students select complete release authorization, and they read the different information and click on I have read and understood the FERPA release authorization and explanation above, and click continue and acknowledge, and whether they waive or do not waive their right. So we select, for example, I waive my right to review all recommendations and supporting documents, and then they sign it and select the date and click on save and close. Students can send invitations to recommenders after they complete the FERPA release authorizations. There are 4 different types of recommenders. We first have the counselors. They usually submit transcripts, school reports, and other forms. Teachers submit letters of recommendations that tell colleges about the academic achievements and personal characteristics for the students. Other recommenders share information about the student character and abilities, outside the classroom. And we also have advisors who do not recommend or submit any recommendation letters, but they can track the progress and provide guidance for students. Keep in mind that each college can determine their own recommenders type and the number of recommendation letters and forms required. The students can send invitations to recommenders by clicking on Invite Recommenders button. Let's say they want to invite a counselor. They need to add their email address, title, first name, and last name, and then click on the Invite button. Here, the students can actually see the status of the forms that are being submitted on their behalf. And so as the recommenders work on them and submit these forms, the students will see the status of the forms change here. And there are different statuses like started, not started, submitted, and downloaded. If the student does not include an email address for a recommender, they will be marked as offline, which means that they need to download the PDF forms for the recommenders to complete and send to colleges on their behalf. The recommender will receive an email that a certain student added them as a recommender in their Common App account. The recommender will see the name of student, email address, and student type. The recommender will need to activate their account by clicking on Activate Your Account button. Here, the recommender will see their email address, first name, and last name as provided by the student. Of course, the recommender will select their own password, and they need to follow these guidelines, and then check this box to agree to the terms of use and privacy policy and answer this question and click on Create Account. Then the recommender can view their account. Here, there's a notification that says please complete your profile before submitting forms. So I click on profile to complete the different information. They have here personal details, school details, school profile, class rank, GPA, transcript, and certifications that the recommender will need to complete and update before they can submit any recommendation letters or school forms. Here you will see My Students section. Let's click on View Walkthrough to help us understand this section. Here you will see the student list. Your student list shows all students who have added you as their counselor. Select a student to view their information and start working on their forms. Here you will see the completion status. This icon indicates the submission status of your required counselor forms. When you submit all required forms for a student, you will see a green check. The total count of forms depends on your student's college requirements. The final report is not included in the total count. To-do lists, as you can see here, you can find how many required forms are due for this current week, Monday morning until Sunday evening. When you have required forms that are due by the end of this week, you may see a button like this. The button shows the remaining number of forms, the form name, and the total number of forms due. Selecting the form will filter your student list and show students who still need that form. To-do list also under next week. Use these tabs to access other to-do lists for next week or for the whole school year. Your progress for mid-year reports and final reports will only appear in this year tab. Also, you have the resources section, which will be helpful in terms of providing information for you and your students. And as we have mentioned at the beginning, you first need to share information in the profile section, and you must complete it before you submit any forms. Let's click on Student Test. This is the name of the student. This is an example. Here you will see the Common App progress for the student in the different sections. A green check will appear once the student completes these sections. Here you will also see the different list of colleges and universities the student wants to apply to, and you can see a green check once they submit their application. On this left column, you can see the forms that you need to submit as a recommender. Some forms will not be available until you submit the school report. Let's click on Bates College. Here you will be able to view different information. For example, the deadline that the student will select. Here you can see the admissions email. If you have any questions or inquiries or need any explanations, please do not hesitate to contact the admissions office. Here you can see the counselor form requirements and the student application progress and the student's recommenders. Let's say another student added you as a recommender, but this time they added you as a teacher and not as a counselor. Here you can interchange between the different types of recommenders. So we click on Teacher. You can see the list of students who added you as a teacher, and you can see your to-do list. Let's click on the student's name. You can see the Common App progress, the universities and colleges you need to submit your evaluation as a teacher, and here you can see the different forms, and they only require one, which is the teacher evaluation, and so we click on it. You have a set of questions that you need to answer. First, you have the subject area, and you have the different questions you can see here. Pay attention to the maximum number of words you can provide for each section. The number of evaluation forms, school forms, and questions that you need to answer as a recommender will differ from one university to another. So it is very important to keep track of the different forms for each student based on their list of colleges and universities. If you need additional guidance, check out the resources section. Here it will help you to navigate the recommendation process. You can see different information and video tutorials to help you complete the different sections.